a challenging childhood and going through so many hardships in life, are these real problems or real barriers which keeps you away from achieving your dream? I don't think so. Because today we have a person in the Inspire Me show who has proved that these barriers are not barriers for her to achieve her dreams. Today we are with Liana, the founder CEO of Lia's Cakery, which you can see right in front of us. So we are going to be in a very exciting, inspiring conversation with Liana. I will call her Lia.
Yes.
And let's find out what her story is and what she has to share with you about the daunting times that she has gone through in her life, yet how she has built an incredible and a very flavorsome brand of hers. Hi Lia, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, we are excited to have you, and you are a very busy person with the sort of venture that you are doing. So thank you so much for allocating your time for Inspire Me.
I would actually personally like to thank you for having me here today. What you are doing is a wonderful initiation, and I'm glad to be a part of this.
Thank you so much. So, Liana, let's talk about the outset of Lia's Cakery. How were the things set up at the outset? Let's talk about how you found the funding to the support system to the early days, basically.
So talking about the early stages of how it all started, it all began with my grandmother. Without her, I wouldn't be a baker today. It was an exciting feeling for me when my grandmother bakes all these yummy rich cakes, love cakes and all these things for Christmas, New Year, and especially for our birthdays. We never ordered cakes from outside. She always used to make cakes, so we try to pretend to help her and sit next to her when she bakes, and whenever she goes out, we try to lick the cake batter.
Okay.
So it was always, baking has always been a happy thing for me. It surrounded me with happy memories. And after that, it got carried away, and I finished schooling, and I was doing O levels. As a usual matter of fact, as an Asian child, I was given options to choose from. I could either become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or someone who works at an office, or I could either, the last option, get married to a suitable mate and become a housewife. So definitely not choosing that option at that early stages. I decided to go with the option of becoming a lawyer, which seemed a little interesting to me. So I entered law college. I passed the exams and entered law college, and the initial stages of having fun, it was all good. And after some time, I started realizing that I'm not happy.
Okay.
It was just not my cup of tea, I would put it like that. And at one point, at the verge of the worst part of my depression, I was thinking, what's the whole purpose of this life? And with that, I got a question for myself, asking whether I want to become a lawyer. So that question changed my life. The answer was, I actually didn't want to become a lawyer. When I picture myself as a person in future, I was never imagining myself as a lawyer, working as a lawyer. So the obvious answer was that I was trying to force myself to become somebody that what society wanted me to.
Okay.
I never wanted to be a lawyer. It was not my happiness. So why should I keep forcing myself to prove myself to the society where I'm not even happy? So the obvious choice was for me to not become a lawyer. So the next question follows, usually when somebody decides to change their career, is what do you want to become? So for that question, I actually didn't have a proper answer. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with. I didn't have an answer, so I was like, okay, maybe I'm good at baking because I used to do orders since O levels, like I do cakes for my friends and stuff. So I wanted to do a business, and it was, with all due respect, my grandparents didn't have to understand the fact that I would want to quit law and become a baker. So I couldn't ask for funds and all. So I collected all my pocket money. That time I think it was somewhere around 50 to 60 rupees. That's all I had. And obviously, my grandmother had ingredients at home where she bakes. So I decided to bake around 30 cupcakes because I needed orders to start a business. So I didn't have any orders by that time. So I baked around 30 cupcakes. I spent that 50 rupees for a tuk-tuk, went to the town, and these shops where the grocery shops where they sell these breakfast rolls, patties and stuff for breakfast and evenings. So I went there and asked them to sell my cupcakes, and if it's sold, I'll collect the cash. So that was my deal. I came back home, fingers crossed, nervous, and when I went back, for my surprise, my cupcakes were gone. And with that money that I got back from the shops, I went and bought more ingredients. I baked at night. I deliver the cakes in the early morning, again go and collect the cash, again buy things, and I kept on repeating for a while. So I started earning money now. But so far, nobody knows that I quit law. So after that, I decided one day to start a Facebook page, and I have no clue why I named it Leah's Cakery. I really don't remember. But I ended up creating a page and I posted some pictures. And thankful for my customers or so-called friends at that time. They all helped me a lot with this business, where they placed orders, believed in me without going for all these big places. They wanted to give orders to me, and I slowly started saving and improve my business. And little did I know, here I am today. I have a cake store. I do customized orders, not sales, and my customers have been requesting me to have an outlet. So very soon that's going to happen. So that's how it all started, my baking career.
And knowledge becomes a better weapon or a better tool for yourself when you impart that. So I think you are doing lessons as well, classes and all of that.
Exactly. Okay. I started teaching because my the customers and all, they always requested, you please teach, we want to learn baking from you.
Yeah.
So I never planned on teaching because I suck at teaching actually. I can't teach someone because I get really annoyed when they don't understand. But for my surprise, when I teach cakes, when I teach baking, I'm pretty good at it, I think. So far.
You're unbelievably patient with your students.
Yes, I'm unbelievably patient. It was a surprise to myself as well. So yeah.
How people pole vault between jobs, careers, studies is sometimes not very believable. We see this in movies. When I watched the Three Idiots movie about how some people, quit engineering and get into photography, I was really questioning that movie. Is it really possible for you to do? But today I realize that it is not so impossible, because we have living examples right in front of us, like Leah, who had quit a subject like law and gotten into a completely different area, which is baking. So Leah is as beautiful as you can see now. She's a very vibrant personality, and this personality was not built on a lot of comforts. It went through a lot of hardships that you and I even can't think of. So let's talk about the traumatic childhood you had, followed by so many other personal challenges that you went through in life, in relationships to whatnot. Usually what we see on social media, what we see in our friends, relatives, is that when people go through such occasions where parents get divorced at a very young age of children, and when they go through a lot of traumatic relationships, it becomes very challenging for a person to stay focused and achieve their dreams. But you have proven that wrong, Leah.
Yes.
So let's talk about all those challenges, and more importantly, how you manage to forget all that and focus on yourself and develop your brand to what it is.
Yes. So, starting this answer with, I wanted to mention this because nowadays I believe that there's a stigma where it's a picture perfect life in social media.
Yeah.
And the ordinary people, everybody's ordinary, I would believe. And we try to compare our lives to these picture perfect, lives in social media, couples and individuals. And we tend to think that we are not good enough. Our life is not good enough. Our life is not perfect like theirs. the part that we forget is that nobody's life is perfect. Even those picture perfect people, they never post their struggles and stuff online. So it's always the good side that you get to see, whereas there's a bigger picture behind where they also struggle. So I always believe in the fact that we should talk about our struggles so that other people would get inspired. Okay, I'm also similar like this person, so I can come out of this. So they would get this belief. So talking about my childhood, yes, my parents got divorced at a very young age, and after some time I lost my mother as well. So I was mainly raised by my grandparents. They are my pillar support. So this childhood did bring a tremendous amount of mental trauma. I went through depression, which continued towards my adulthood. I don't believe that depression is something that goes away. It's still there, but the beautiful part about it is it's like a friend of yours. You learn to live with it. It just comes and goes on and off, and it's fine. It's totally fine to have depression. So, with this trauma and all, so for me, I had two options. Either use this traumatic childhood and blame it on my parents and do all the worst things possible and become this person who destroys herself. And the other option was to use it as a lesson and make it inspiring, to change my life into something more beautiful, which my parents couldn't live, and turn myself into a strong, independent woman. And the obvious choice was for me the second one. I would never say that my childhood was a barrier for me, but I started to learn and see it as a learning experience where I have been taught to fall down and build myself up alone, and help myself to learn to not give up and push myself on all these things. And I would say, more than being a barrier, my childhood being a barrier, it has been a support system, and it built me as a strong woman of who I am today. Without my childhood, I don't think I'll be this strong and independent. So that's there. And talking about relationships, of course, I was this young girl, with the dreams of finding one day my Prince Charming would come and swipe me up and take me to his kingdom, and I'll be this princess with happily ever after. Obviously, for whoever that got that, I'm happy for them, but for the rest of us, I don't think it works like that. Once I got out of it, what I saw was the expectations that pushed into women, where you're expected, no matter what, even if you're successful in a career, even if you're doing well in life, you're not successful 100% if you don't find a partner, get married, become a mother, raise your children and be a homemaker. For me, that concept of identity for a woman is given by a man was not acceptable. I'm not telling that it's wrong. I also want to find my Prince Charming, get married one day, be a good mother, and create my own family. But I have seen a lot of women, including my grandmother, lose their potential, their talents, and all these inspiring talents hidden inside them gets lost by the name of marriage, which we push into women these days. So for me, it was very important to create my own identity before I do all those things. So I don't think any woman in this world should push herself to become something that she doesn't want to, just because there's a particular age, a standard in the society why she has to become a wife or a mother. No, if you are not ready, don't do it. That's my concept.
Thank you. Thanks, Rihanna, for that. So, challenges are inevitable in life. This is something that I keep repeating in all the episodes, all the interviews that we do. What's important is how you embrace those challenges and become a better version of yourself, bounce back in a very positive way, and make sure that your challenges become stepping stones in your life to step up, which is what Liana has done in her life as well. So, while we discuss the outset of your life, Leah, it's important to discuss the outset of your business as well. Let's talk about what sort of feedback you got at the beginning from your customers, suppliers. You're working with the whole stakeholder ecosystem in a food business. Let's talk about such feedback and criticism, and more importantly, how you took it, how you sort of adopted yourself as a person and the strategy of the business as well, without taking it too personal and ruining your emotions and all of that.
So the customer feedback made a lot of changes throughout, because I was not this girl who had a education about business, or like someone from a family background who had a business experience. It was all new to me. I was just a newbie in business. So my main goal of this business was not to mainly earn money. So money was not my big picture.
Okay.
My big picture was happiness, which I get out of my customer satisfaction. When a child walks in and they'll be like, I love the cake that you made that day. That kind of happiness that I get is wonderful. So the customer satisfaction was very important. So I wanted to make sure that always the taste of my cakes and the quality of my product should be up to standard. I believe from the beginning to this day it has improved but never decreased in my case. And then customer satisfaction is very important, because I see in a lot of places, for them it's mostly about earning money. So they price their cakes in a very higher rates, and when a customer comes and buys a cake, they should feel satisfied that I'm paying for the product, like this product is worth it.
Yeah.
So when the customer is not happy, I'm someone who believes in these kind of things. I don't think it's going to work out for a long run. If the customer is not happy with the product, or not giving enough items with good quality, they are not going to come back to you. So getting my customers back was very important to me. So customer satisfaction means where I am okay to make last minute changes if it's possible. I always respond to their calls and stuff at late nights also, where they want to change something very simple, a color. So satisfying them in that manner made them feel home when they ordered cakes from me. And it was important for me to continue that standard, even if it becomes a bigger business where I have an outlet and I do daily sales. Customer satisfaction should always be there, because for me it's not always about money, but it's about making other people happy.
Okay.
So
that's how you basically reacted to the sort of feedback that you got?
yes.
Yeah. Leah's Cakery is a home-based business. She has been in the business for the last 10 years. So it's not new. It's not although you are a newbie to business, this business is not a newbie to cakes and all baked products. So it's cakes, cupcakes and anything else that you make?
Anything related to cakes, brownies and
Okay.
cake jars, anything that's related to cakes.
Alright. So all this entire portfolio that she mentioned is baked and conceptualized, designed, the finances are managed, the marketing is done, everything by one single person, and that is Leah. So doing a home-based business as a single owner can be challenging for obvious reasons, and it can be a advantage also, because you are the boss of all the operations. You can do it in your style. So let's talk about how easy or difficult it is, and any advice from you to any single owner owned businesses out there.
Yes. So you're right, it can go both ways. So especially when you're a single owner, first of all, it's very empowering, because you make all the decisions, you get to control your employees, how it should be done, and you're controlling everything. But it could get you carried away a little, because if you're working at an office, there's someone superior to you to tell you that you have these targets to achieve, this is the deadline that you should do, and you'll be working towards a goal on a regular basis. But when you're the owner, you don't have anyone superior to you to tell that you have to achieve these in this particular time and all these things. So starting from scratch for me, one thing that I learned was that I have to be my own boss, and I have to set targets. And obviously if I don't achieve my targets, nobody's gonna
Pay your bills.
yes, nobody's gonna pay my bills, of course, that's obvious. But nobody's gonna fire me or anything, because
Yeah.
I'm the own boss. But setting targets for myself and not achieving them has made me feel really guilty sometimes. That guilt would keep you going and give you motivation to do more, achieve double targets and stuff. So I believe being your own boss and learning that this passion of yours is now a profession. So this is not a hobby anymore. So once it becomes a profession, you need to be uniformed and organized, and that is very important. And the second thing is, being a single owner, we try to put all our effort 100% and maybe sometimes 200% into the business. Whereas I remember I have gone days where I haven't slept, and I pushed myself too much to make sure that I give a good product out. And I try to not say no to everybody, like anybody. After some time, with the hard way, I realized it is okay to take a break on and off, because nobody's going to come and tell you can take this day off. You don't have a pattern when you do a business. So on and off, it is okay to spend some quality time with your friends, family and all. Just like how a phone charges, the battery needs to be full to perform,
At its best.
at its best. If the battery goes down and you don't recharge, it's going to die at some point, and it's going to become a physically complicated situation there. So I learned it the hard way, and I managed to learn to set priorities. When I'm getting too tired and stuff, I try to take a break, and that's totally fine. It should be guilt free, because you deserve it to give your 100% back to the business.
Yeah.
Yes, that time.
So that's the logic of starting something on your own also,
Yes.
right? So that you can adopt your own style of managing things in your business.
Very true.
So yes, whether it is owned by a single person or whether it is owned by a bunch of people, challenges in the external environment to businesses is again inevitable, like the life challenges. So let's talk about the mostly talked about challenge these days, the COVID outbreak. We all discuss about how adverse it was and adversities it has introduced to the business. Let's talk about how it impacted Leah's Cakery. More importantly, Leah, how you managed to not make sure that it will affect your business a lot.
Yes. So I was someone who chose baking as a profession to get out of my depression. So imagine me not being able to bake without my own will actually did put me back to my depression. When the curfew started, I thought it was for 1 week, and you know what happened. So it continued. So I couldn't go to my cake store and open it and do orders, because there was no way of delivering and stuff, and it was under the health reasons, like we couldn't safety reasons, we couldn't do it. So I was actually depressed. I was on my bed. Getting out of bed was a very difficult thing to do at that time. So all thanks goes to my grandparents again. They have been a pillar support. So my grandfather kept on nagging me, why are you inside? I know you have to be inside, but you have an oven and stuff. You can just bake butter cakes and sell for the neighbors, because nobody comes and goes. It's all safe. We have been in lockdown for more than 14 days. So I was like, no, I was depressed, and I was like, this is irritating, because the business can't run in the same manner anymore. Because there had to be, my employees couldn't come to work because it was too risky. At some point, my grandfather's nagging worked. He succeeded, as always. And I decided to, bake a cake for one of my neighbors. They requested. And the moment I held the beater and I baked the cake, I realized, okay, I'm not someone who sits in my room and suffers. I'm someone who overcomes my obstacles. So I talked to people who could get my ingredients delivered. I talked to people who had passes to deliver cakes to my customers to doorsteps, and I got my pass. It's just, my shop was just walking distance. So I went there alone without my employees, I started baking. It was physically exhausting during that time. But instead of just sitting at home and not doing anything, I made sure that my business ran even during COVID, paying all the bills on time without any debt. I'm proud to say that my business was very successful during COVID. So I don't think anything should come as a barrier when you have a goal in your, you know, in front. You should always find a way to overcome the obstacles and work hard, because I'm a living example of doing a business very successful during COVID.
Yes, so achieving success even during challenging times is of course a very good thing for all home-based businesses to learn from Leah. And what you mentioned is hard work. Whether the times are easy or difficult, working hard is of paramount importance if you want to make sure your business runs as per your expectations. So, when talking about hard work, it's important for every person to work hard, because every business in your particular industry is working equally hard to achieve what they have achieved. So, what you can see right in front of us is a unique design cake done by Leah, and she will, I'm sure, post this on Instagram. She must have posted it already, and it's very easy for a person like me or in her domain someone to go and copy that picture and make it their own property. And things have worked out in a way that these things are accepted now. You know, because there are no governing bodies for these things, because these are home-based businesses. Who cares whether their work gets copied? It has come to that level, which is very upsetting. Although I am not a business owner myself, I have a lot of friends like Leah who are hustling with their business, and to see how their work gets copied, how their pictures, their content gets copied overnight is really upsetting me as well, and it's very exhausting to fight with those people. Even though I don't own the businesses, I personally go and spend hours in messaging these people, asking what's wrong with you, why are you doing this. So this realizes me about authenticity. I am sure it affects you also. How important, or not how important, it is important to maintain authenticity. What is your advice to these sort of instances? It's okay to look at similar pages and get inspired. We all do that. But copying and inspiring are two different concepts. What is your advice to such people? How can people build their own style and be authentic?
Yes. So for someone who's not just only a baker, who teaches students, I have a lot of youngsters who are like pass out of school, and girls who are like housewives who wants to earn something. I teach a lot of these girls, and I started seeing all of these people doing their own businesses, which I'm really proud and happy about, because I believe every woman deserves to have their own career. But the thing sometimes that I see is they tend to post these pictures, like let's say for an example, it's a Valentine's Day. So before that, they try to copy these pictures from Google and like post a picture. It's not their own product. So one thing that I never did was, from the beginning, I never posted any picture from Google or anybody else's. It was all my creation, because I believe even when it comes to my employee, when I make a specific design, it has a uniqueness. The exact same design, the same environment, the same ingredients, when somebody else makes it, it comes out different. A slight difference is there. So when you copy an image and post it, the customer expects you to make the same thing. You cannot deliver, it's impossible to deliver. And especially when your work gets copied, I actually try to not get annoyed by it, because it's usual now. But sometimes even the simplest thing, like the content that you type under a picture, I spend time on it and I think about it and I write. So when I see, okay, you don't have to write something on your own if you're not good at doing those things, but don't just copy paste the exact same thing on something else. It is very sad to see that you don't have your own uniqueness and originality. So when you do those kind of things, a lot of my friends, they'll be like, okay, I think this person has copied your quotes and the way you post your stuff, and this person had copies this. So it is okay to get inspired by designs from other bakers, because baking industry is a very fast growing industry where one thing comes to the trend, and as soon as it's done, like something else comes, something new comes. But always have your own twist to it. Always try to make it your special product, you need to come up with your own ideas and content. If you're not willing to do some homework and work a little extra other than just baking, I don't think the business would go a long way.
So yes, if you are not taking the effort to write your own description at least, or to click a picture of your own product by yourself, how you are going to continue in this challenging journey is absolutely questionable. So please think about this 100 times, a million times. I always tell this to a lot of people who channel inspire me for advice. I'm a little blunt in that sense. I always tell them, if you can't spend 5 minutes writing your own description,
Exactly.
how are you expecting your business to grow? I mean, your doing your product takes more time. It takes about baking a cake takes how many hours? I don't know. I have never baked. So if you can't spend 5 minutes to write your description, how can you spend 5 hours to bake your cake? That's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
So that is why authenticity is very important. Like I said, like Liana said, getting inspired is a different thing, copying is a different thing. And like you said, Liana, it's easy to copy, but it's very difficult to execute that copy. Because copying a picture is just Control C, Control V, but you can't do that when you are actually giving the final output.
Recreating it, yes.
So yes, you said women deserve the chosen to choose whichever the career or the option that they would like. Just like women, there are other communities in this world who needs the equal amount of love, attention, and respect. We have never spoken about this topic in our earlier segments, and I'm super stoked to discuss about this in this discussion with Leah, because she is an incredible person who respects different communities, including the LGBT community. So let's talk about this also, Liana. What do you think about having to deal with different personalities, and how does it affect you to become a better person? How does it help you to make your brand a very socially impactful sort of a product?
Yes. So I believe it's not that difficult to actually gather some money and go do a charity event where you give food or clothing or anything. Nowadays, the most important thing that you could provide for someone as a help is emotional support, which not everybody gets. So especially when it comes to people like me who go through depression, I was lucky enough to be the strong person who could lift myself out. But I see a lot of youngsters who just can't do it by themselves, and they struggle. Especially when people from LGBT community and all. I'm someone who supports a lot. I never ever judge people for their religion, gender, the way they look, or their
Sexual
status.
orientation or anything.
Exactly. It should never matter as long as that person is not hurting anybody else.
Yeah.
So it's none of your business to poke your nose into what their personal life is. It's not affecting you in any particular way. So you don't have to be bothered about it. And also talking about customers, it applies to my customers also. A customer should feel comfortable to come and tell me. If it's a guy who comes and tells me, I want to make a cake for my boyfriend. There are people who want to celebrate their love by expressing, just like how others want to celebrate their anniversaries and birthdays. So my customers should never feel uncomfortable to come and tell me, like, I'm making a cake for someone special, but they don't want to mention who it is.
Yeah.
That's very sad to think about. So I actually provide cakes for everybody. I have made a lot of pride cakes, and I would proudly say that in future I'm planning to employ people
From this community. Yeah.
Yes, from this community, and who has struggles not only from that community, women who struggle to come up in their life, who have depression, who doesn't get that comfort from their family. Even in Leah's Cakery, like my employees are treated like family because my grandparents treat them like grandchildren. For me, they are like brothers and sisters. So I want to create that environment where a working place is not stressful. Why should it be? It should never be. So treating everyone equal is one of my main priorities when I interview people for jobs. That's the first thing that I actually require. Like, you should be okay with anybody as long as they go out of morals.
Thank you. So we were in conversation with Liana, the founder CEO of Leah's Cakery, the cake shop, and she does personalized cakes, cupcakes, brownies, cake jars to all sorts of baking products. We are reaching the conclusion of the conversation. Finally, Leah, I would like to ask, what's your advice to girls like you who would like to aspire a similar journey? You have already answered this in bits and pieces, but let's sum up and say what sort of emotional traits, mindset, and basically technical skills also. If someone wants to do something in cake, in doing baking products, what should they develop?
Okay. So, talking about women who want to pursue their dreams as careers, more than men, usually women go through a lot of barriers because they are expected to be a certain way. When a girl goes and says, I want to do business, they'll be like, seriously? So, that kind of attitude and mindset in our country is very sad to think about. But when you want to do something, it is acceptable to think that your parents or the people who support you would not understand, because unless you prove yourself, nobody's going to believe in your dream, because you're the only person who can see the vision inside you. When I wanted to quit law and become a baker, it's very unfair of me to expect my grandparents and others to understand that this is the right choice that I'm making. But today I have proven it. So the main key to pursuing your career, which is your passion, would be to believe in yourself first, and not believing like anybody can start something. Starting something is very simple. You can just today think about baking a cake and posting it online and start a page. But consistency matters. If you're not willing to work hard for your dreams, if you're not willing to prove again and again, no matter how hard it is, that you're going to keep doing this, eventually people will start understanding, okay, this girl has some vision, she's trying to do something, and we should support her. So you believe in yourself and keep working hard. I'm sure that the world would see it. So in addition to that, before I end things, I would love to thank some people. Mainly my grandparents, my grandmother, who's my most favorite person in the world. She has been a very big emotional support. My grandfather, who has been a big pillar for me, financially, emotionally, who has been encouraging me. So without them, I won't be here today. This Liana would not exist. And I'd like to thank my mother, who's blessing me from above. My father, Dilu Aunty, who always bless me with good things. And one person I wanted to mention was my first employee, Adil. He has been there to support me even during my hard times. When I got down and I was in a mental breakdown situation, he always supported me, and he has been my right hand, lifting me up to make sure that I give my 100% on the business. So thanks a lot, Adil. Last but not least, all my friends and loved ones, from starting from emotional support to fixing a pipe or fixing a board, they are always one call away. So without these people, I wouldn't be here today. So I would love to thank all of you. So that's it.
Yes. So maintaining consistency, like you said, is very important. And of course, it's not fair for you to, like you said, to expect others to understand your vision at the beginning. You will have to prove some of your results for others also to realize where you are heading and what your aspirations are. So this was a very inspiring conversation. We discussed a lot of things that we haven't discussed in our earlier segments, including how we can accept different communities and work with them and respect them equally. Besides that, we also talked a lot about how someone can go through a very disturbing, upsetting childhoods to relationships to whatnot and still use those as a stepping stone to step up in a better way in life. So these are living examples who had successfully succumbed to all those pressures in life and developed their or converted their ideas into successful ventures. Please learn from them. Please take examples from them and try to come up with your own life without getting too much dwelled in your sadness, in your in whichever the defeats that you have gone through in life. So you are watching the Inspire Me YouTube channel. Subscribe to us so that every time we bring an interesting conversation like this, you will be notified then and there. For that purpose, click on the bell icon as well. Besides that, Leah's Cakery and her social media icons to Instagram will be mentioned at the bottom of this video. Please go ahead, subscribe her. She is just a DM away to place your orders for your special occasions. So whether you are you can be a mother, a father, a lover, a friend of any gender in any community, you can fearlessly go and place your orders and explain your requirements to Leah, because she is open to work with anyone. And in addition to Leah's social media channels, subscribe and follow Inspire Me on Instagram and Facebook as well at inspireme.ceylon. If you have any comments, questions, or if you want to feature your business on Inspire Me like how Liana did today, why don't you pop your comments below and we will get in touch with you. Until we bring the next episode like what we did today, stay safe and stay tuned. Bye.